Hey everybody, JC here. Happy Sunday afternoon. It's about 12:30 and we are about to go take another Tesla FSD drive. I've got the destination already set in, so we're just going to push this little blue button and get on our way. So let's do it. Go, push the button. Start backing out of the driveway. Get past my son's CRV. Back up, straighten out. Avoid my wife's Mercedes. That would not be good. And my cousin's Infiniti. Get past the Jeeps and the Chevy Yukons and the Dodge Rams. GMC Denali's, the Sonatas, the Suburbans, the Camrys, the Beamers, the Chevy Silverados. Literally just did 90 minutes of auto ads for you right there. All right. So we're out of my little cul-de-sac area there. Into the neighborhood. So I am in a place called Porter, Texas. I am located about 40 miles northeast of downtown Houston. Today, I will be headed to a place called Spring, Texas. And Spring is about 25 miles from here. It is located about 25 miles due north of downtown Houston. So we are on the northeast part of the greater Houston metropolitan area. And when I say we're on the northeast part, Porter is basically where Houston ends. So technically, this suburb right here, Porter, is considered part of the greater Houston area. But the minute you drive about 5 miles north of here, you are technically considered to be going into the East Texas Piney Woods. So I'm basically right at where Houston ends and East Texas Piney Woods area begins. And yeah, so we're going to be going to Spring, which is again due north. So if you know where the Woodlands is, Spring is basically part of the Woodlands area. It's the southernmost part of the Woodlands. All right, we're going in a traffic circle. We come out. Good job. Nice area. Again, a tip similar to Porter and Kingwood. It is a suburban area of the greater Houston metro area. A lot of people, a lot of young families live in Spring in the Woodlands. So a very large part of the Houston population lives in that area of Spring in the Woodlands. A lot of folks in the Tesla community that are on both X and YouTube live in that north of Houston area. So definitely an area that's highly likely way more represented by Teslas than the area I live in. So I would suspect that when we go into Spring, we may see more Teslas than I normally see here in the Porter, New Caney, Kingwood area. All right, we're on that little county road, but Tesla FSD always handles this really well. As I've said before in previous videos, really the only complexity on this particular road right here is that there's so many outdoor animals, both domestic and feral. So you'll have a lot of feral dogs and cats, possums, armadillos crossing this road. But Tesla FSD has handled it perfectly every single time, always stops for the animals. Like I said, Tesla loves animals. All right, about 100 feet away from the stop sign. We'll come to the stop sign, make a 0 mile per hour NHTSA stop, put on our right blinker, take a right. There we go. Handles the oncoming vehicle very well. Going to come up to another stop sign here. We've got a two-way stop. The traffic on Knox Road has the right-of-way. They do not have a stop sign. So we need to come to the stop sign, make a 0 mile per hour NHTSA stop, put on our left blinker, go over the railroad tracks, which we are about to do. Get up to the stop sign / stoplight that's not operational yet and hadn't been operational for going on 3 months now. We're going to make a left, but again, the traffic on 494 has the right of way. We have a car coming in. They got their blinker on now. They finally put their blinker on. We go. Good job. Very smooth. We're going to go up here another 100 feet or so, take a right on an even smaller country road that'll take us to the feeder of 59 East Tex Freeway, and we'll go northbound on that. So here we go. Nice right turn, very smooth. And yeah, we have a very narrow country road right here, no lane markings, about as wide as a lane on one of the major interstates, but we always handle it really well. We got an oncoming vehicle. Definitely needs to be repaved. This road is not paved as well as that other one. But we handled that oncoming vehicle extremely well. Coming up to the feeder. Got a stop sign at the feeder. All right. We do have traffic as normal. And man, we take the gap and we're good to go. Now we're gonna have to do a little bit of giddy up and go if we're gonna make it over to 59. Are we gonna do it? Yes, sir. Good job. Man, I'll tell you what. That right there used to always give FSD fits. And generally speaking, I would say half of the time, we would just have to stay on the feeder. Like it would have to abort that move to get on 59 because it just didn't have the confidence to get into that oncoming, because that oncoming traffic is generally going about anywhere from 55 to 65 miles an hour on that feeder. They're coming through hot. And so that's, man, have not had any issues with that since getting on version 13. That's great. So we are on 59 East Tex Freeway going northbound. We are going to take this for another 1.5 miles, and then we're going to get on Highway 99, and Highway 99 westbound will take us all the way over to Spring. What we're doing today is a friend on X, somebody that I follow, a mutual follow. They live in Spring, and they documented on X that they've been having some issues getting out of a particular HEB parking lot there in Spring, and we're just curious about whether that was a consistent issue and what somebody else might see. And seeing that I'm an old retired fart with time on my hands, I like to get out of the house, because what I've found is the longer I stay in the house, the more things my wife will try to find for me to do. So once I'm in my Tesla, it's like a cocoon. The world just goes away. Nobody asks me to do, nobody hands me a honey-do list. My wife knows my phone is off limits. That's another thing, fellas. like on FSD, when you're doing these FSD videos, you know, just tell your significant other that, hey, you know, I'm doing this for the community. Gotta keep the phone down, babe. So my wife acknowledged she's good to go with that. So if you wonder why I do these 2-hour-long drives, there you go. There's your answer. No, I'm just kidding. That's totally a joke. A little. So yeah, I just thought I'd, you know, I like to do things for the community in my own little way, and might as well see how consistent that is. I've got his issue. I know where the HEB is. I know though, I think I've even been to that HEB maybe once or twice. I know that area. And so we'll just see. And if it's map data, at least we'll know, right? Because map data is easy to take care of. You just report it to Google Maps. I've done that, and I've said this on previous videos. I've done that about 3 times. And granted, they don't get it fixed overnight, but they do eventually get it fixed. So, but it's always helpful if you can have, like in any sort of scientific testing. Granted, this is not scientific, but at least it is a sample size of more than one. And you see if I have the same issue that my friend on X does, and that'll just be better data. Nice merge there. Get over here to the left, get in the faster moving lane. So yeah, that is what we're doing today. So we're about 15 miles away from Spring. It's not very far. So it won't be as long of a video as I had yesterday, but still some really good driving times to show you some city driving, suburban driving, country driving, and highway driving. So you get all of it with these type of drives. So yeah, once we get to the HEB, first thing we'll do is we'll just see how Tesla FSD version 13.2.1 does in the HEB parking lot for this specific HEB. Whether it just tries to drop us off in the front like a Cybercab robo-taxi Uber Lyft would, or if it actually tries to park us in a parking spot. Seems to be sort of random in this particular point release of version 13 that I'm on. But again, we'll just see. And then once we have done that, I will put in some coordinates to try to recreate somewhat, to the best degree I can, the path that he and his wife want to take out of the HEB parking lot, and that is presenting some navigational issues for them. And then I will conduct that experiment, and then once we have our data, got something to report to Google Maps. Or if it's successful for me, we'll know that as well, and that maybe there's, you know, something going on, as you know, in his particular, you know, that, who knows, maybe it needs a service request. But it's always good either way it goes, if you can validate it with another Tesla that's also on FSD, then just helping the community. And if none of that happens, we're having a nice Sunday afternoon drive in my Tesla. Then I'm creating content, and we're getting to see all the different buckets of driving. Like I said, you get city, suburb, country, country road, and highway. Might even see if I can tackle some more YouTube questions again. Yesterday, I had a 2-hour and 15-minute long driving session, and I got through one of them. I told my wife about that last night, and she just laughed her butt off. She was like, so typical of you. But we got through, so I've gotten through 2 YouTube questions so far. In 1 week of having version 13, I've gotten through 2 of your questions. One on charging infrastructure, one on my ideas, what Tesla has said about a supervised rideshare service and how that'll eventually evolve into a unsupervised cybercab rideshare service, and we talked about that at length yesterday. The next question, and again, I've got several here, but obviously we're not going to get through all of them, especially with me, in one driving session. But we do have about 10 more miles till we get off of Highway 99. So one of the questions was about road trips in a Tesla, and what's the longest road trip that I've ever taken at one time in a Tesla. So I've done quite a few long road trips, and I guess the first thing we ought to do is define, like, what is a long road trip. So in my mind, basically any time that you're, let's say, going over 500 miles, right? I consider that to be like a long distance road trip. 500 miles or more. Because if you're like 200 or 300 miles, I mean, quite frankly, in a Tesla with full self-drive and how relaxed it makes you, a 200-mile drive, that could be a day trip or just a weekend trip. So like, for instance, where I live, I can go to Austin. Austin's 200 miles for me. Dallas is a little bit north of 200 miles. So I can make those places in 2.5, 3 hours, right? And so, heck, that could be a day trip for me. Get up real early in the morning, head to Austin, see a Texas Longhorns game, and head back home. Usually you don't do that because usually the people you're with like to have a cocktail or two afterwards, so you're probably staying overnight. But you get my drift. Is 200 to 300 miles, you could almost make a day trip, definitely a weekend trip, right? So I don't really consider those to be like road trips. 500 miles or more, you're getting into road trip territory. And 1,000 miles or more, you're definitely into road trip. So if I look at it that way, my longest road trip I've ever done in a Tesla is when I went to California and back for the 1010 event. And the 1010 event is when Tesla unveiled their Cybercab on October 10th of this year in Los Angeles. So I took my Tesla from Porter, Texas, all the way out to LA, and then took it back from LA. And that was a great road trip. My total mileage, when it was all said and done, was 4,453 miles. Now, a lot of y'all might go on Google Maps and say, wait a second, how that seems like a lot of miles for just going from Houston to LA and back. Well, I took the scenic route. Again, this 1010 event happened to take place literally a week after my retirement. And so I retired effective September 30th. And so it worked out perfectly for me. So literally right after I retired, a week later, I got on the road. Actually, less than a week later. Probably about 5 days later. I went ahead and took the scenic route. So I made a lot of stops along the way, stayed overnight, did some amazing hikes, your typical tourism type stuff. And so when I went out to LA, I went all the way up to Amarillo. So I went from Porter all the way to Amarillo. Then I went from Amarillo to Albuquerque. Then Albuquerque over to the Grand Canyon in Arizona. And then the Grand Canyon all the way down to Joshua Tree in Southern California. And then from Joshua Tree over to LA. And stayed there for the 10-10 event. And then after the 10-10 event was over, my wife flew out to LA and we spent a long weekend in Huntington Beach with a lot of family and friends that actually live in the Long Beach, California, which is part of LA, greater LA area. But it's funny, I call it LA, but all of my family and friends that live in Long Beach, they're like, no, we live in Long Beach, we don't live in LA. I'm like, okay. To everybody outside of that, draw a circle around LA, you live in LA. let me just let the cat out of the bag. You say Long Beach, they're gonna be like, I think I heard that in a Snoop Dogg song long time ago, but anyway, where's that? Oh, you mean LA. That's what you're gonna get. So anyway, so yeah, spent a long weekend with them there in Huntington Beach. And then my wife flew back from LA back home to Porter, to Houston. And then she gave me the permission to go ahead and take the scenic route back home. So I actually, on the way back, we got about 3 miles till we get to Gosling. So I went up to Las Vegas, and funny enough, my oldest son, who's in the Navy, he's a submariner in the United States Navy. He just happened to be in Las Vegas for that week. They were having a fleet week in Las Vegas, so I actually got to see him there. Got to have dinner with him. So I went up to Vegas, stayed there for a night, had dinner with my son, my oldest son, and then from Vegas I went up to St. George, Utah, went to Moab, Utah, filmed some beautiful drives there through the Zion National Park, and then the Moab National Park, went on up to there, and then went from Moab, I went into Western Colorado and met up with Landon Unsupervised. If you're on X, he goes by Landon Unsupervised. Well, I believe his handle is actually like West Teslarado or something like that, but yeah, Landon. And spent the night with him and his significant other there in their beautiful home there in Western Colorado. Landon took me to Telluride. We went adventuring around in his Model Y, and man, I learned that the Model Y, man, I mean, that thing is like what it can do in rough terrain with a little bit of something. I mean, the Model Y is essentially like a little baby Cybertruck. So I can, not to go off on a tangent here, I'm gonna tell you what, if you're the owner of an older Model Y, I could really see you enjoying the Cybertruck probably more than any other Tesla owner, because you already drive one. Really, that Model Y. All right, we're about to get off on our exit here for Gosling. So put a pin in we were going through my return trip. We were up to Western Colorado. I was sleeping in the guest room of Landon's home, eating his food, drinking all of his soda pop. All right, we are about to take a left here at the light at Gosling Road. All right, so while we have a red light here, yeah, so then had a great time with Landon. He took me all around Western Colorado in his Model Y. We used FSD and he showed me how well FSD does in that rough environment. We were, you know, a good 10,000 feet up, and we were in some rough terrain, to places that get locked down during the winter. So we were very fortunate that we got to go to see it. He took me over to Telluride, the day trip to Telluride. That was great. Then I left that evening, got on the road, and I was going to head over to Denver. Put a pin in that. All right, we're about to take a left here onto Gosling Road. Here we go. Great job. That car in front of us has no clue. The Civic did not know what they were going to do, but thank God for Tesla FSD. Yes, sir. So we had a human driver do a pretty major snap. You just don't put on your brakes right in the middle of a lane like that. But understandable, it happens. Thankfully, Tesla FSD has been fed millions and millions, like The Rock would say, millions of bits of video data, and has seen that over and over and over again, and knew exactly how to respond to a human driver stopping in the middle of the road, because they're trying to figure out where they need to go, so they need you to stop as well while they figure it out. All right, we're going to continue on through the light here on Gosling. Got about a half mile here. Nice area here, nice neighborhoods. I like this. Now I take that back, I don't think I've been to this part of Spring before. I think this is a newer, like I've been to Spring, but it's been a while. These are some, looks like some nicer, newer neighborhoods. Yeah, this whole area here, just like my area, Porter, it's getting built out. Like all of this over here, I think I want to say I've been hunting over here before. Yeah. I mean, when I say before, I mean like we're talking 20 years ago. But yeah, this used to all be like, people would come out here and duck hunt in this area. All right. Yeah, right there, I don't know if you could tell. Oh. Hold on one second. Let me wait till it put on the red hands there. At a stoplight. I mean, yeah, there you go. Got our first red hands at a stoplight. Literally stopped. So let me re-engage for you so you can stay stopped. And it's just, people say it's the sun, but I'm just not so sure. I mean, I just drove for 30 minutes and a good part of it straight into the sun. So, and then we're stopped at a stoplight going 0 miles per hour, and it gives me the red hands. There's a part of me, well, no, I'm just gonna, I've got some dingbat ideas about what may be going on here, but again, they're dingbat ideas of somebody who is the furthest thing from a scientist or an engineer. I think they're running some A/B testing, because it can't, like, it makes no sense to tell me, oh, it's due to the sun. It's completely due to the sun, or it's a safety, it's totally a safety thing. Okay, then why is it the only time I get it is at a stoplight when I'm not moving? I mean, So, as I said in yesterday's video, I'm gonna go to one of the local Tesla service centers on the 27th. I got an appointment set up for the 27th that morning, and let them look at the camera just to make sure. But I mean, if I mean, you saw it. We've literally been driving for 30 minutes, and a good part of that was going into the sun, or at least having the sun right. And we were just driving on this road for a good 2 to 3 miles right into the sun. And when does it give me the red hands? When we're stopped at a stoplight. So that is my dingbat tinfoil hat Alex Jones conspiracy. No, I'm just kidding. Is that they're running some sort of A/B testing or something. Again, that is completely pseudoscience. Freely admit, I have absolutely no clue. So the only thing I know for sure is I got an appointment with the service center set up. All right, we are turning right into the HEB. There's the HEB right in front of us, as well as the sun. Yes. There we go. It's kind of a four-way. This is actually is at the three-way stop. So I don't think the traffic going this way has to stop. All right, we got an individual in front of us with a cart full of groceries. So we're definitely going slower here because we do not want to hit those two individuals. And we got the oncoming vehicle as well. We'll get around them. There's no place to park. So we'll just see what it does. The pin is for right in front of HEB, obviously, because all I did, oh, there we go. Again, we're stopped. Let's see. All right, nope, yep. So that's what it was doing. It literally, when it gave me the red hands, it had stopped. So let me find a parking spot. Oh, there's a Tesla right there. Yeah, so it did not try to park at this HEB. Let me let this young lady get through, and then I'll park right here and we'll regroup and get some coordinates set in. All right. So yeah, so we've been driving 34 minutes and 30 of those were actually to get here. We had no critical interventions, no non-critical interventions at all. And then literally right at the HEB, we get a red hands at a stoplight, and I re-engage it so that we can stay at a 0 mile per hour stop at the stoplight. Then we get all the way into the HEB, and it gives me a red hands right as it stops. So like what happened right there, it basically took me to where the pin was. So I was looking at where, because all you can do right now, or I shouldn't say all, you can do some other things, but when you're navigating to a certain place, I put in HEB, right? So just take me to the HEB. And so the pin was literally just right in front of the HEB. So where it threw up that was basically our stop. So I don't think the red hands are completely about the sun. That's just my I mean, I could be completely off here, but that had nothing to do with the sun. That was like, we're here, get out. Nah, 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 nah. So it's almost like a stop mechanism for me. It's like anytime I get to a stoplight or it's stopping at the destination, it's stopping with red hands. Like, it's almost like it's telling me we're done. So, I mean, when I have my service appointment to have them look at the I'm going to tell them, like, look, I think I'm less concerned. I'm not concerned. Concerned's the wrong word. I'm less interested in the camera itself because it's obviously working. I just went 85 miles an hour nearly on Highway 99 and never had it. But at a stoplight, it comes up at a stoplight. So is there something going on, like when I'm at a stoplight or when we've reached a destination? Because that's when I'm getting the red hands. I'm not getting it while I'm driving. I'm generally speaking 99% of the time getting them when I'm stopped at a stoplight or when I've reached a destination, like just right now. So we'll get, like I said, this is all going to be irrelevant soon anyway, but as long as we're supervising, it's just a pain in the butt. Like, why? Like, what purpose is that possibly serving? I mean, you've already got enough safety mechanisms to know that I'm in the driver's seat and that I'm paying attention. You got a camera right there looking at me. You've got other sensors to know that I'm here. What else do you need to throw up red hands at a stoplight every now and then? Do you need to throw up red hands at the destination to let me know we're here? Okay. But it just, I don't know. It tells me, the spidey senses in me are telling me it's something else, that they're doing something else here. Because just to tell me, oh no, JC, it's the sun. Well, that makes no sense. That absolutely zero sense that it can only be the sun. So yeah, so let me end that diatribe and go ahead. I'm going to shut down here for a second. Then I'm going to put in the coordinates that my friend on X had, and we're going to see how it does. All right, I'll talk to y'all in a second. Bye. All right, everybody. We are about to try to recreate the navigation out of this HEB from Spring, Texas, going the same direction as my friend on X. I've got 2 or 3 different ways to go, and interestingly enough, the Tesla navigation has us, instead of taking a left, it has us taking a right and then an immediate U-turn on all 3 different ways that clearly look like you should just be able to take a left. So I'm just gonna, it's a Sunday afternoon, just having fun. Let's see what might happen on each of these. And like I said, I'm here supervising. I'm ready to go if I need to take over. But yeah, let's just see. So the first place I'm going to try is a place called Rotolo's Pizza, which he clearly looks like you should be able to take a left out of the HEB parking lot onto Gosling, and that pizza place is going to be right there. So let's see. I'm going to push the little little blue button. All right. Should start backing out of the parking lot here. It's obviously a little bit cautious just due to the fact that we're in an HEB. There we go. Now it gets going. Got an individual behind us, so that's why we were being cautious. I didn't even see that person. All right. I'm gonna pull up the navigation here. All right, we're gonna take a left. going to come to the stop sign, come to a complete stop, go on through, and then we're going to take another left here in a second. And then maybe we'll see what it is. All right, had a little bit of caution there for that curb. That's all right. Okay, get up here and take a right, and then we'll be at that intersection that my friend was talking about. We're going very, very cautious right now, but I understand it. A lot of cars in this HEB parking lot. It's a busy Sunday afternoon. Got not just cars, but people all around us. All right, we take a right. Now let me look at this intersection. Yeah, we should be able to go left out of here, but it has the right blinker on. See, there is no you should be able to go left right there, and it is not taking us left. So we are going to go right, and then do a U-turn. Let's see if we have enough room. We do. And we go into Rotolo's. So it worked fine for us. We were able to get the U-turn done, but you can clearly see you should be able to turn left there. So let's see what we do in Rotolo's here. I'm probably just going to stop right here. Yep. So now what I'm going to do is, well, first I'm going to take that blinker off. Let's head back over to the HEB, and we're going to try a different coordinate, and if we're going to try one that's on the other side of the road. And if it doesn't, I mean, clearly it should have just gone left. And if it doesn't do it there, then we have our answer, that the map data is clearly showing that there must be some sort of obstacle there that does not exist. So let's go back to the HEB. All right, get that in. Push the button. Now, we should be able to go straight across to HEB, but it has us going, oh, let me see here. The navigation has us going right, but the blinker has us going left. So we're just going to see what happens here. Got cars coming. We should have a gap here. The navigation had us going right and then doing a U-turn, but the car took over and went the right way. Interesting. There's something going on around this HEB. There's definitely something. So that was interesting. The navigation had us going right out of Rotolo's and then doing a U-turn to come back to HEB. But the vision took over and rebutted it. Technically, we could have gone straight across, but honestly, this is actually the entrance. That's the back of HEB, so you probably shouldn't go over there. So really, this was the absolute 100% correct way to go. The navigation was wrong, but the Tesla, through the vision, that time rebutted it and took over. It didn't do that, though, coming out of the HEB parking lot to go to Rotolo's. So let's just see how we do here. It's probably going to stop in the front of HEB. That's fine. Yep. All right. It's going to stop. So let's end trip. Take off the blinker. We're going to navigate to these apartment complexes on the other side of the road. which also has us doing a U-turn. All right. And depending on what it does, so I've got it going where it should be going left out of the HEB parking lot. And we're running 2 tests, one on either side of the road. And then after we get to that apartment complex, I'll have it come back to HEB. Let's get through these customers first and the oncoming vehicles. Yeah, it's going really cautious through this parking lot. There is something going on with it, like this, like it should be cautious in an HEB parking lot, and the HEBs around where I live, it goes, but it is going like, it is demonstrably more cautious in this parking lot. Like I can feel that it doesn't really, it's navigating and getting out of here, and like I said, I haven't had to intervene or do anything, but it clearly, there's something with this parking lot. Something with this HEB. All right. Once again, same little hesitation there with that curb. I don't ever get this level of overly being cautious in the HEB parking lots around where I live. This one is just being, I mean, granted, like I said, there's a lot of cars. You can see there's a lot of people, but it is just being like really, really cautious. Okay, we're gonna take a right up here. Obviously, as long as there's not, well, we got an oncoming car. Well, no, they're turning. We should be good right here. There we go. Okay. As you can see, just like that vehicle, we should be able to go left. And the navigation has the left blinker going now. Let's see what we do. Let's see. Well, we got an oncoming vehicle. We're gonna have to wait on them. We got a white Chrysler minivan, so they're gonna have to come through first. And then we got another oncoming vehicle. And we take a left. We took a left. Interesting. So for Rotolo's right there, it wanted to do a U-turn. For the apartment complex right there, it turned left. But here's the funny thing. It now is going to do, yep, it's going to do, so I'm going to have to take a look. It wouldn't turn left into the apartment complex. It wants to do a U-turn right here. So we'll just see how we do at this U-turn. Always good to see U-turns as well. And then let me try one more let's get back to the HEB parking lot, and I want to try one more destination on this side of the road, because that was the only difference. Is Rotolo's is on that side of the road of Gosling, and the apartment complex is on this side of the road. So let's get back to HEB. I'm gonna pick one more destination and make sure it's on this side of the road and maybe a little further up. Interesting. Actually, you know what would be better? Because we know something on this side of the road, it turns left out of there. I wonder if I go further up that way, past Kirkendall, and I pick something on that side of the road, what it'll do. That'll really tell us, because I think we're clear that if it's on this side of the road, it just overrode the navigation and turned left. So the navigation was wrong. Once again, Tesla Vision overtook it and went the right way. But I wonder if we go with something also on this side of the road, but further out. All right, let me Got a light here. We're gonna have to sit through this light again though. And it wants to do a U-turn right here, but we're gonna have to wait. And let's see if we've got enough room to do a U-turn. We did find over that on that one. We'll just see. That's what Tesla wants to do. The FSD wants to do a U-turn right here. And U-turns are legal in the state of Texas, unless it specifically says that they're not allowed. So here, we do not have a sign that says U-turns are not allowed. But I am going to be ready to take over and intervene if it's not able to make this U-turn. We'll just see. It is a little bit narrow, but a good human driver could make this U-turn. Yeah, yeah, a good human driver could make this U-turn. All right, we're just waiting. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick a spot on that side of the road that's past Kirkendall. And then if it's still showing us taking a U-turn out of there, and it does the U-turn, there's something, it's got a phantom median. Interesting. All right, we got the left turning light. Let's see how we do here. We're gonna try a U-turn. There we go. Nice. Wow, that was better than human. That right there, there was like, as soon as we started that turn, there was zero doubt in my mind we were gonna make that U-turn. And you heard me before, I was like, we could do it, but you gotta be a pretty good human driver to do it. That was good. All right, I'm gonna exit out of this. Nope, don't wanna go that way. We're gonna go to the HEB. Did it just in time, perfect. My timing was perfect on that one. All right, we got cars going in. Man, it is busy, busy, busy. So let's get in back into the HEB. Let's get a little further in. I obviously don't want to, I want to get to a place where, man, look at this. It's just nuts. Is this HEB normally like this on a Sunday afternoon? My God almighty. Yeah, let's keep moving up, and then I'm gonna find a spot to look on my navigation and find a spot past Kirkendall on that side of the road. So let this lady, there you go, ma'am. Good job, Tesla FSD. Let that young lady through. You got a pretty jacket. We got families coming through here. There we go. And we move on through. Yep. Thank you, Tesla FSD. It's just so good. Just so good. Look, I mean, look at this. It is handling the pedestrians all over the place just perfectly. All right, it's going to want to get over here. Let me get a little further up, and then I'm gonna, in fact, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna, yeah, because there's cars behind me. Let me get parked here. All right. All right, just bear with me, folks. I'm gonna find a spot end trip. Let me navigate. Let me go back over here. There's the HEB. Let me find Gosling. Yep, there it is. Let's find Kirkendall. That, I believe, is... Yep, that's Kirkendall. All right, let's see if there's something... on that side of the road. Man, there's not much. Wonder what if I... Let's see what that... because that's on that side of the road. Still has us doing a U-turn to go to that. But it's on that side of the road. I just don't see anything else that's like right off the road there. Yeah, that's gonna be, but that'll do the purpose because it's clearly on that. That'll tell you it's far enough away, not right by that pizza spot. So last test, let's do it. Right. We got a pedestrian with their groceries coming in right in behind us, so Tesla FSD is going to let them pass on by. Now we got a car passing through, so obviously we're going to let them through. And now we should be clear. And there we go. Great job. All right, our third and final test. And then after this one, after we see how it does, it is just so cautious right now. Look at this. It thinks something like it's just going to run out in front of it right now. And there's literally no cars here. Strange. There's a strange aura at this HEB. What happened here? Well, sir, come to find out, in the late 1600s, the Spanish conquistadors, yeah, they're back. Right, gotta let these cars all through. They have the right of way. They do not have a stop sign. All right, we find a gap, we go. Good job. I mean, I guess one question I would have is, this doesn't look like a brand new HEB. I mean, it's a nice HEB, just like all other HEBs, but it doesn't look like it just had a grand opening 3 weeks ago. I could be wrong. I mean, I can look at now see, watch. It's going to have a little bit of... Now that time it didn't. It was good. It did not... I don't know what it's doing right now. Did I have HEB typed in there? I don't think I did. That was... Okay. Alright. Let's try this again. Oh, shoot. It's closed. Alright. Let me find something that's open. That's what it... Okay. Let's go with that. I don't want the alternative. Let's see. Gosling. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Just trying to get my bearings here. There we go. Turn it this way. And let's do... What about the waffle? They're always open. Let me see what the waffle... Yep. I mean, it's on the other side of the road. Waffle House is always open. If it can't get to the Waffle House, then I'm getting rid of my Tesla. No, I'm just kidding. All right. We're going to the Waffle House, folks. We need to get the hell out of this HEB parking lot. That's what we need to do. To my friend on X, I don't think I'm coming back to this HEB parking lot, dude. I think you need to find another HEB. I don't know what kind of spirits you got with you, Ricky Bobby. You got demons in you, son. Don't you put those spirits on me, Ricky Bobby. Yep. So it has got us doing a right turn. Interesting. And this place, the Waffle House, is further down than those apartments. But it's on that side of the road. This side of the road, it goes ahead and takes the left. There we go. We take the right, and I'm sure we're going to do a nice U-turn right here. And we sure as heck do. Perfect. The navigation has been wrong all 3 times, but when you have a destination that is on that side of Gosling, the Tesla overrode it. On this side of Gosling, it goes right and does a U-turn. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end that trip and navigate home. I mean, it's still going to take us this way, but oh well. Yep, there's the old Waffle House. So, let me put it back on that. Now what are we going to do? Wow. Wow. Okay. So I changed navigation midstream, and instead of I thought it was going to do like a box. Wow. That is so good. I don't think y'all realize exactly how good that was. I changed the navigation on this thing midstream, and it did a course correct like that to go back the other way, instead of doing a box around the neighborhood or a loop-de. That was interesting. That was really good. All the U-turns were fantastic. That change of navigation that I put on it, how it responded to me changing up the navigation on it, was better than human. But it can't see that it can go left out of that HEB, except for one of the 3 times. And we ran 3 separate tests. All 3 times, the navigation was clearly wrong. The navigation showed all 3 times that you could not turn left directly out of the HEB, and that you need to turn right and then do an immediate U-turn. The one time I had it navigate over to this side of Gosling, the Tesla overrode it and went left. The 2 times I had it navigate over to this side of the road, it went right and did perfect U-turns. So either way, you're good to go. But I don't know why, but I'm going to be honest with you, to my friend on X, I don't think that's the story. I think the story is that damn parking lot. That HEB parking lot is haunted, dude. Get out of that HEB. Don't ever, ever, ever go back to that HEB. For the love of God, do not go back to that I'm sorry, to anybody working with HEB, that the HEB folks, I love you. That place is fine. I am making a joke. That is a wonderful HEB. All right, so we're headed home now. I hope that we have enough time and enough distance that anything that may have gotten on my car in that parking lot, anything that may have attached itself to my Tesla, has the next 33 minutes, the next 23 miles to dispel yourself. It is Sunday afternoon. Take it to the First Baptist Church of Splendora and have them talk tongues over it. Well, actually, the Baptists don't talk tongues, but I'll take it. I know where I can take it. Oh, I know where I can take it. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that I wanted to help a friend out, and we got some great data, but that is definitely not the headline for this FSD drive. Woo, Lord, have mercy. All right, we're going past Spring Stubner. Ooh, that's a pretty Tesla up front. I like that. You know, I've said this about the blue ones too. So when I go online and I look at looking at a white Tesla or a blue Tesla, I'm like, because there's so many of them. White Teslas are just, that's the number one, right? Number one color selection. But then when you see them in person and they're nice and clean, man, they do look beautiful. That is a beautiful looking Tesla. I like that white color. But I don't know, for some reason that just doesn't come through on the internet. But when you see it in person, and it's that, well, that one's not as clean, but it looks great. But really, that blue one I saw yesterday, it was just sparkling, and it looked beautiful. Yeah, so this one probably needs a wash, but it's pretty. I like it. And that's a Model S, or so I'm sorry, a Model 3. Like mine. That's an older Model 3 though. The easy way to tell, like if somebody's got the newer Model 3, real easy way for you to tell if somebody's got a 2024 Model 3 or later, because they do have 2025s now. You see the T for Tesla on the back. If you see the T, that means that model is 2023 and earlier. And so that's an AI3 Model 3. If you see the word Tesla spelled out, T-E-S-L-A, and you're welcome for me spelling that out for you, but if you see it spelled out, T-E-S-L-A, that is a 2024 or later model, 2024 or 2025, and that is an AI4 Model 3, or Model 3. And what I mean by AI4 is Tesla updates the hardware. So it's not just, there's obviously the software gets updated, gosh, seems like every week or two. So one of the awesome things about a Tesla, and this is what, so here, here's another question. I know I wasn't done with that question about my longest trips, and I'll get back to that. But since I'm talking about it, there was another question around the whole AI4, Hardware 3, software updates and all that. So let me give you a quick primer on that. All Teslas get software updates. So on average, don't hold me to this, but on average, every 2 weeks, 2 weeks, that's a running joke in the Tesla community because, anytime somebody asks Elon, when are we getting this or when are we getting that, his boilerplate answer is 2 weeks. So the famous 2 weeks. But put that to the side. Generally every 2 to 3 weeks you're getting a software update, over-the-air update that brings something new and fantastic to your Tesla. So every time you hear in the media that they say 500 Teslas are being recalled, I just want you to remember that recall is an over-the-air software update that's done in your garage while you're in your pajamas drinking your morning coffee. So other car companies, when they say recall, guess what you got to do? You got to actually put on clothes, drive 20 miles to your nearest Toyota dealership or Chevy dealership or Ford dealership and physically take your car in, physically drop it off, physically wait in the lobby while some Wall Street genius is yelling into his Apple AirPods about the genius move he's just made with his portfolio. You get to listen to him for 2 hours, drink some stale coffee while they do their recall on you. Tesla owners, how do we have our recalls handled? Nothing. We literally, all we have to do is look at our iPhone and say accept. Tesla sends a message to you through the Tesla app on your iPhone or Android. If you happen to be, you like to play junior varsity sports, or you just, you know, when you watch football, instead of watching college teams, you enjoy going and watching JV football. I'm just totally kidding. Androids are great too. There's a lot of great things about Androids. I'm ribbing. But you look at your iPhone, it says software update available. Do you accept? Do you want to do it now or do it later? You hit do it now, accept, and there's your over-the-air update. There's your recall. You are literally, you can be in your bed. You can literally be in your bed, pick up your phone, see that there's an over-the-air update, push the button, and there it goes. That's it. So every time you hear the word recall attached to Tesla, just remember that's what's happening. But, you know, a lot of folks out there for whatever reason, they just don't like Tesla. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why folks wouldn't like Tesla. So, just give you a little bit of heads up on that. The media knows that. A lot of folks in the media drive Teslas. So they know this. Their kids drive Teslas. So just remember that those newsrooms that are pushing out these articles about massive recall, a lot of their kids and grandkids drive Teslas. They know exactly what's going on, but it doesn't fit their narrative about Tesla Inc. And so they just run with it. So it is interesting. One of those things where it's like, well, if I know you're lying about this, because you're clearly lying about it, because I'm in bed while I'm getting this over-the-air update that you're calling a recall. So I know you're lying about this. What else are you lying about? Anyway, that's not, nobody's subscribing to me or tuning in to me to hear about the mainstream media and how they handle Tesla. So let's get off of that. So, yeah. AI4 and hardware 3. So, not only do you get software updates, but there's different hardware in each vehicle. So as you can imagine, just like in any other sort of technology, because let's just be blunt, Teslas are more akin to a smartphone on wheels than they are to just an automobile. And so just like if you own an iPhone or an Android, you know, the hardware gets updated from time to time. So if I picked up an iPhone 4 that came out in what, 2011, and compare that to the iPhone 15, those are going to look like two completely different objects. and the hardware is going to be completely different. And that hardware is going to be, the hardware on an iPhone 15 is going to be able to do tons of different things than the hardware on an iPhone 4. Even with this, like, you can't even get the software that I get today on my iPhone. You couldn't even put that software on an iPhone 4, right? So it's not even supported anymore. So that's kind of the same way with Teslas. The only thing different is Tesla still supports those Teslas that they sold back in 2012, 2013. Like, Apple barely supports any iPhones from way back in the day. In fact, I don't know where their cutoff is. Tesla supports every Tesla ever built. And so that's where Tesla has clearly gone way and beyond any technology company or any automotive company. So there, on that, the hardware that's in a Tesla goes by the nomenclature of AI4, which is Artificial Intelligence 4, AI3 or Hardware 3. So depending on how you call it, I've heard people say that, well, it's still technically Hardware 3, but I've also heard other people say, no, it's AI3. So whichever way. So there's AI4, AI3, AI 2.5, I believe, AI2, and as you can just keep going down it. So essentially, I want to say right around the middle of 2023, maybe a little sooner than that. Let's say like March, April of 2023, Tesla started shipping their vehicles with the new AI4 hardware. And that AI4 hardware usurped or was above the previous Hardware 3 or AI3 that they had. And I want to say AI3, God, I'm probably going to get this wrong. And so if you want to correct me in the comments, please do. But I want to say AI3 started right around the 2018-2017 timeframe. So from about 2017-18 till late 2022, early 23, you had Hardware 3. So as you can imagine, that's probably the vast majority of the existing Tesla fleet out there. Existing fleet of Tesla owners. And then, like I said, in early to mid 2023, they switched over to the new we got about another mile, Hardware 4, or how they call it now, AI4. And so pretty much anybody that's bought a Tesla since first or second quarter of 2023, you've got AI4. So I don't know what percentage of the fleet that is. My guess would be is 75 to 80% of the fleet is AI3 / Hardware 3 or earlier, and 20 to 25% of the fleet is AI4. But as you can imagine, AI4 is just going to have stronger cameras, more memory, faster chips. I'm speaking in completely unscientific, non-engineering vocabulary here. It's faster and better. It does this, and it does that more times and faster. There you go. That's the best way to look at it. It's like an iPhone 10 compared to an iPhone 15 Max. I mean, that's probably the best analogy for me. All right, we're going to take a right here at FM 1314. Taking a little bit of a different route to go home. That's okay. We can turn right on red, but we got to wait for oncoming traffic. We do. And we take the right. And now we are on FM 1314, and we will be on 1314 for about 4 miles. And then we'll take that to 494. All right, got a stoplight up here. So, yeah, so the that's kind of the nomenclature on the hardware. My Model 3, I bought this in September. Yeah. So I got this in September of 2024. And so I've had it for 3 months now. This is an AI4 Tesla. And so the interesting thing about the whole AI4 versus AI3 thing is prior to version 13, from version 12 on FSD, version 12 and earlier, all of the training was done on essentially hardware 3, AI3. It was mostly hardware 3 video data, mostly hardware 3 type chips. You know, the training chips was all based on that. And so for any AI4 Teslas, they had to take that data and then right size it for the AI4 Teslas. So it was always kind of like a middleman there. So one of the real interesting things about, or really cool things, at least for AI4 drivers, is that version 13 is the first stack where all the training is done off of AI4. So I've told people before, excuse me, that this is the first version. They worked really good on my this version feels like it fits my Tesla like a glove, like it was tailor-made for my Tesla. I can tell. And the reason why is because it was trained on AI4 for AI4. And so what they're doing right now, they do not have version 13 pushed out to any, I don't know what the heck's going on right here. This traffic is going overly slow, like too slow, like dangerously slow. And so we're gonna get around. Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on with these vehicles right here. So we get around them, great job. Something must be going on with those two vehicles. Oh, it's that one vehicle. That guy's trying to get around him too. I just beat him to the punch. Great job, Tesla FSD. You beat a human driver to the punch about getting around another human driver. I'm pretty sure this is just all going to be neural nets out here. And it's going to take care of so much of that sort of crap. Just, anyway, I don't want to scare people, so I'm not going to get off on that tangent. Ask me on the YouTube comments if you really, really want me to go into that discussion, but I don't want to. I'm trying to. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, so that's one of the great things about version 13 is it feels just tailor-made for my Tesla. Like it was literally it feels like it was specifically made for me. And if you're driving an AI4 Tesla, especially like a Model 3 or a Model Y, it was. So these cars are just gonna make, like if you have an AI4 Model 3, I'm telling you, you need to pitch in when this supervised rideshare comes along, because your AI4 Model 3 is just tailor-made for this. This software, this version 13, is fitting your Model 3 like a glove. All right, we got about 1.5 miles till we get to 494. So yeah, that should answer the question about the hardware and software. If there's any follow-ups, don't hesitate to let me know in the YouTube comments. And apologies for the folks watching this on X, that it seems like I'm disregarding y'all, because I am. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, come on, y'all know all this stuff. This is for my YouTube family, where folks are coming, they're curious. They're Tesla curious. That didn't sound right. But yeah, if you're on X, and you follow me on X and you're watching this and you feel slighted and you feel like I'm ignoring you right now, don't worry, it's because I am. All right, getting around another slow vehicle. All these slow pokes out here. Well, we're not exactly like we're, look at that. So I talk crap. Look at this. I start talking crap. Man, pretty soon this Tesla is gonna start just going back and forth like this, like being that, you know what I'm talking, you know that guy. You know that guy. Maybe you've been that guy on the road before, where you're trying to prove a point, like get the hell out of my way, and you, but fortunately we're not doing that. First Baptist Church of Porter, Texas. I got to go over there and give the fine ladies over there some rides in the Tesla, do some ride sharing. Get them back and forth from their house to Wednesday night Bible meeting. Looks like they might, yeah, that parking lot was empty, so they must have already gotten out of the church service. A little too cold. It's about, well, that's actually great weather. It'd be a great day for dinner on the grounds. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all are too young to know about dinner on the grounds. Man, those were great days. Potluck, everybody brings something. Fried chicken, greens, cornbread, biscuits, gravy, chitlins. Oh man, tell you what, fried chitlins, whoo-wee. Little hot sauce. Yes sir. All right, we got about a half. Oh, well, we almost had an accident right in front of us. Two humans inside their vehicles, not enjoying each other's company on the 59 East Tex freeway feeder. All right, passing underneath 59 East Tex freeway. About another quarter mile, we'll get on 494. We are now, actually I think we're in, yeah, we're in Porter now. Yeah, of course we are, that's the church. So New Caney's over there. Basically this side of the road is New Caney, this side's Porter. Come up to the light, take a right on 494. Don't need to yield because we have green. There you go. No need to yield. Perfect. Got a little congestion here. I'm not gonna lie, I was ready for a red hands right there. I don't know if y'all were thinking it, but as soon as we came to a complete and total stop for like the first time in a while, I was just ready. It's like I got PTSD. That's like, all right, we're coming to a complete and total stop at a stoplight. Where's my red hands? You didn't give them to me. All right, we're going to continue moving through. Got the green light. And we are going right into the sun right now. And I mean right into it. Like smack dab in your noggin. We're doing great. And when I say the sun's coming right at us, folks, It's coming right at us. And we are going 52 in a 40, staying up with traffic, smooth as hell, no heebie-jeebies. About to slowing down a little bit. We got a congestion going through this traffic light. We do have a green, but obviously a little bit of congestion here. Pretty normal for a Sunday afternoon. Folks are out doing some grocery shopping, doing some clothes shopping, doing some Sunday afternoon joyriding. Like I said, beautiful, beautiful day. 66 degrees, partly cloudy, brilliant sunny sky. Couldn't be better. And we're going directly into it for miles and miles and miles. Do I sound a little frustrated right now? Sorry, I shouldn't do that. All right, our left turn is right up here. About to turn on Knox Road. You see the traffic lights there that are not yet operational. Put on our left blinker. We have oncoming traffic though. Let that Chevy Silverado, actually that's not a Chevy Silverado. That is a Tahoe. Let them go through. We go right behind them. Perfect job. Gonna make a right here. Get in between the vehicles and the ditch. Perfect. Good Lord, that was good. Smooth. No hesitation whatsoever. On version 12, there would be some hesitation going into that right turn when there was a lot of vehicles over here, because as you can see, there's a ditch, a big old ditch right over there, a swampy ditch. I mean, this is the Houston area. It's called the Bayou City for nothing. And then a lot of vehicles there, and then a narrow road right by the railroad, down by the river. And so it would always go pretty and that was just smooth. That's the first time I've done that right turn right there in that scenario on version 13, where there's a ton of vehicles lined up right there. That's the first time I've gotten that scenario. Just beautiful. So smooth. God, it's version 13. I'm telling you what, folks, it's a game changer. It is so good. Just looking for any critters. I know the Tesla is, but I always keep an eye out for the critters too. So I got through, how many questions did I get through today? What did I talk about? Let me go back to my memory bank. We just finished talking about software and hardware on a Tesla. So when you hear the term AI4, AI3, hardware 3, over-the-air updates, recall, let me put asterisks around that. Let me get around this turn real quick. Make a nice left turn. Great job. Got some oncoming vehicles with vehicles to the right. We are going to continue on. Oh man, that was so, man. That's just not going to come through in the video. How smooth and confident it was there. Like, it didn't just throw on the brakes and get the heebie-jeebies like some previous versions would have done in that exact same scenario with a car parked to the right, an oncoming vehicle that's a little too much. I mean, that was just fantastic. All right, we're going into the traffic circle. We actually have quite a bit of traffic going through the traffic circle. My guess is because of, church. There's a church right over there and they must have just let out. So we got some vehicles to work with. Perfect. Keep going. Did not hesitate. Didn't slow down. Knew it was good to go. Yeah, I don't often, the only time I ever get a chance to see it work with other traffic in that traffic circle is really when church is let out over there at I believe that's St. Mary Magdalene. Yeah, beautiful church. One of these days, Tu and I mentioned that we need to dress up and just go over there and check it out, because it's a beautiful church from the outside. I've never been inside though, but the thing is, you got to dress up. I mean, you want to be respectful. It's the house of the Lord, so got to put on some nice clothes. Can't be wearing a t-shirt and a Tesla hat or X hat and my black warm-up pants. You know, got to at least put on some overalls. All right, coming back into the neighborhood. I think we already pretty much know what it's going to do when it gets to my house, but again, we always just go ahead and roll the tape. News at 11. Oh, wow. This is new. So it's taken the first entrance into my neighborhood and not going all the way down that. That is interesting. That is the first time Tesla FSD has ever done that. It never does that. So let me see if it does anything differently than it went in this way. Okay, it's putting on its blinker. Is it gonna park? Oh. Oh. Now, don't hit my wife's Mercedes now. I thought it was going to park me in... Well, hold up. What are we going to do here? I'm just going to let it do its thing. Folks, let's just... What's you going to do? What you gonna do when they come for you? It wanted to park me, but I is it gonna try again, or is it, no, it's just gonna get in behind my wife. She needs to get that thing cleaned. Lord, baby girl. Ah, shit. I'm gonna shut up about that, because if I say that, guess who's gonna have to clean? How do I do this? So your wife needs her car washed, but if you say something, you're the one that's going to have to wash it. Leave something in the YouTube comments to help me deal with that one. So it was going to try to park me. I know why it gets, so my curb is, it's got there's a rise, about a 6 to 9 inch bump rise, and it was going too slow for my back tire to get up there at the speed it was going, and it just gave up and didn't want to do it. And so now it's parked me here, which is fine. This is, that was interesting. So that's the very first time. And when I say first time, on any version of Tesla FSD, it has never taken me on that first left into the, it always goes further down past the mailboxes and then takes the left. That is the first time. And so I was like, ooh, what are we gonna do here? You've already done something totally different. And I thought it was gonna park me in my driveway, and it was close. God, it was so close. But it gave up because it couldn't get that back tire over that big hump. It's going to have to be a little more confident, have about 1 mile per hour or more speed coming into my driveway to do it. I think it was going to do it. Then it just gave up and did a bunch of 3-point turns. God, how many 3-point turns did we just do there? 8? And then it parked parallel like it's dropped me off. So, still pretty good stuff. Still pretty good stuff. And I thought we were going to have some news there for a second, but no. A lot of 3-point turns, but no parking in my driveway, unfortunately. So, all right, folks. Well, had a fun time doing these FSD drives over to Spring, Texas, to the HEB that I'm never, ever, ever going to visit again. Sorry. To my friend on X. I'm not going back to that parking lot. Make sure, get everything off. I'm gonna go wash my Tesla right now. Yeah, no interventions of any kind, no critical interventions, no non-critical interventions. We did have a red hands at a stoplight, and then I don't even count that last red hands because we were stopped. It literally took us to the front of the HEB and it took us to the destination. But we did have a red hands at that traffic light. I don't know what this Toyota Tacoma is. I must be waiting on somebody in that house. But anyway, so yeah, great drives. No interventions of any sort. 1 red hands at a stoplight. Literally stopped at a stoplight. And you see it. We've been driving into the sun for the vast majority of this trip. No issues. So, again, take it to the service center on the 27th. Let them take a look. But I'm going to tell them, like, look, here are the scenarios. I'm at stoplights and stop signs when this happens. I'm not going 50 miles an hour directly into the sun. That's fine. So is there a way you can engineer me to continue going 50 miles an hour through a stoplight? No, do not do that. That was a joke. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to shut it down. And like I said, I'll get this uploaded later today. I hope y'all have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon. And I hope you have a great start to your week next week. And I will talk to y'all again very, very soon. Probably tomorrow. Hopefully I'm on 13.2.1. They've started pushing out 13.2.2. I don't have it yet. I think that's going to have the holiday update. And so hopefully I get that soon as well. But until then, I'm just going to keep enjoying the drives on 13.2.1. It's all version 13.2 anyway. And yeah, and we'll just keep doing different drives around the Houston area, and I'll keep sharing it with you. So remember, for all of my family on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and for all my friends on X, make sure you at least scroll by it. Give me an impression. You already know what's going on here. So just give me an impression at least. You don't, even if you don't like YouTube, go ahead and at least like it. You don't have to repost. Well, I don't need any of that, but you can, you know, if you want to, please go ahead and quote post and all that. But quite frankly, I've built up enough on X that, you know, just like it or look at, you know, give me an impression. That's all I need from you. But on YouTube, like it, comment, subscribe. And even if you hate it, you don't have to like it. You can even not like it. But comment, subscribe. Keep subscribing so you can keep hating. Right? Do it. Do it for my algorithm. If you hate it, don't you want more people seeing how terrible it is? So if you really hate it, comment on it and tell me how absolutely terrible it is, so that more people that hate it like you will see it and be aware of it. So anyway, with that, let me end on a better note. I love each and every one of you, and that means all of you, 100%, 100.000% of y'all. And like I said, hope y'all have a great start to the week next week. And y'all take it easy. Bye.